This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah, welcome back everyone. We have covered almost like 90 to 95% of the entire project. Just last couple of points left out to be discussed, and after which we will be closing this capstone project discussion. Meanwhile, I hope that you are already working on the documentation part, which is nothing but creating the wireframes. And perhaps for every session, you can create a minutes of meeting document and then refining those points and creating the respective business requirement document or the agile methodology based user stories. So I leave it to you because it at the end depends on how much of efforts do you put into understanding and trying to put it into practice. But I honestly wish that you're really trying to create all these artifacts so that it will help you to understand things better. Okay, so coming back to our project, Capstone project. So we have discussed about the inputs required from customer, and if you see the major inputs, what are the major inputs that you need as a bank from a customer to allow ATM cash withdrawal? One is to know how much money the customer wants to withdraw, and the second one is to know from which location. So you have got these things, and you also validated. Validation in the sense when the customer says, "I want to withdraw some X amount," is the customer really eligible to withdraw this amount? Is that balance available in that customer's account? Is this customer a valid customer of our bank? All those things, validations, you have done it. Second thing is about the location. You have identified the ATM which the customer wants to withdraw from. You have put a check as to find out if that ATM has the amount or not, and then based on that you have given the color coding and all those things. Now what's the next step? Okay, so if I'm the customer and you're providing the service, I've given all these details. What is the next thing that you would do? You need to close the loop, right? So here you have got these particular inputs. Now, what should happen when the customer has given these details? The next thing is you have to inform the customer that congratulations, we have received your request to withdraw maybe something around say $50 from ABC location based ATM, and please go to the ATM within the next 10 hours. If you remember, we put a block on the amount for a time period of 10 hours based on one of our previous videos. Maybe you can just go back to the video where we discussed about how long should you hold the amount in that ATM. Say if I'm trying to withdraw $100, how long will you keep it? You cannot, I raise a request as of today, maybe today is Monday. You can't keep that $100 withheld in that particular ATM which I requested for till the next Monday, right? You need to keep it till a particular point of time, and then you should say timed out, and then you should release this amount so that any other customer who goes to the ATM can withdraw the money. So we discussed about it being 10 hours. So now you need to display that information to the customer saying that something like congratulations. I'm just putting in a very high level request received, and you can withdraw whatever amount, ABC amount from this ATM. Then the next step is, now look at it. So now I have raised a request as a customer. Does it mean that okay, amount and ATM is decided, I can go to that ATM and immediately do the transaction? If you remember, the entire objective of this project is to ensure that the cash withdrawal happens in the shortest time possible, in the quickest manner possible, right? So again, if you ask to insert the card and all that things, it might add to the delay. So what can be done? And if you don't do that, then how do you authenticate? So I, customer named Ranjit, has raised a request for $100 from ABC ATM. Now if I have to go there, how do you authenticate that it is Ranjit and not some XYZ person, right? So here in the last screen of your app journey, you can give a unique code to the customer. Okay, you can say please use the code something like 7391. Okay, at the ATM within the next 10 hours to withdraw the money. Okay, so this is what the information you give to the customer. Now, what has to happen after that? The customer within the next 10 hours is expected to go to this ATM, and then over there, what should happen? You're we are talking about some traditional ATM centers, right, which have this normal functionality, so that may not work. So what is required as part of this project is even the ATM software has to be upgraded. Upgraded in the sense there should be two types of journey in the ATM. One type of journey is the conventional, regular journey, which is like, you insert your card, you enter the ATM pin, you then see the list of services like, cash withdrawal, quick withdrawal, change pin, checkbook request, and maybe other things like that. That is your conventional journey. Maybe apart from that, on the welcome screen itself should give another option to go through this cardless withdrawal, right? So in fact, you can create the list of functional requirements for that journey also. That will pretty much be simple because it's more of a technical heavy implementation. But from your perspective, functionally, you'll say that I have created this journey wherein customer will come with only a PIN number, and once the customer enters the PIN, you authenticate it. Once it is done, give the money. That's it. So at the back end, all those validations and all is something different. Okay, so that is what should happen at the ATM center, right? So this is like, you can say these are all you'll give in one of the screen. Let me see if I can do that. Just at a very high level, I'm just trying to say that, this is how it could look like. What happened? Just re-entering the amount, the text, and then code. What is it? I've just randomly entered 7391. So imagine this to be a screen. I'm not going to the draw.io for the sake of simplicity, but imagine this to be a screen, the final screen. So in the final screen, you're giving this text information to the customer saying, well, first of all, you're saying it is done. Your request has been received. You can withdraw the money. Please enter this code within the next 10 hours and all those things. Using this code, I as a customer will go to the ATM center. On the welcome screen, there will be another option called as say cardless withdrawal or app-based withdrawal. I think that's a better one option because cardless withdrawal actually is already happening in a lot many other ways. Even right now, if you talk about in most of the markets around the world, including India, you can actually withdraw cash from an ATM without using your debit card or your credit card. It's like, your mobile based services are already there. But here, but the major difference in that and what you're doing is in that cardless withdrawal, you are authenticating yourself. That authentication step which happens to the credit card is the only thing which is skipped out. The remaining steps still remain. Means you need to mention how much amount you want to withdraw. That validation about that amount is there or not has to happen, and then the amount gets delivered. All those things are still there. But in your journey, whatever you have created, what is happening here is you are giving the amount related information also before itself. So you go to the center, ATM center, you just authenticate, take the money, and that's it. Your process ends. So let's call this as app-based withdrawal. Okay. So on the screen, ATM screen, there's an option called app-based withdrawal. Click on it. It should ask you to enter the PIN. You enter this PIN, 73. And mind you, this PIN is different from the PIN which you have created for logging into the ATM. Sorry, app. What we discussed over here is about something else. This is about your 4-digit PIN for accessing your app. Okay, and this pin is to start your cash withdrawal journey at the ATM. This is generated in your app after all the selections are done. So you go to the ATM center, you enter this, and then your money gets delivered to you, and that's it. Process closes. Okay, this is the entire journey. And again, here you're talking about financial transactions, so you should also be sure about avoiding any sort of fraudulent activities. How do you do that? Now, for example, I am customer A, have raised this request, I've received a PIN, and before I go to the ATM, some random customer who wants to just randomly check, has gone to the same ATM and randomly entered some four digits, which somehow turns out to be these four digits. Then what happens? That customer will get the amount which I have raised request for, because there is no other authentication happening, right? At the ATM, the customer is selecting app-based withdrawal option. The ATM screen asks to enter the PIN. Once the PIN is entered, the money is allowed to be withdrawn. So that can lead to withdrawal, that can lead to a sort of a fraudulent activity. Yes, but the point over here is, one way is that this particular fraudulent activity, they have to exactly enter the same four digits which has been given, and at the exact ATM center which you have selected. That could be a little bit like a sort of a step, but okay, let's add one more step over here. Okay, let's say that to avoid this fraudulent activity, another thing that you can do is the customer enters this 4-digit pin, and then customer is asked to enter the mobile number. Okay, customer is asked to enter the mobile number in which the app has been installed and used. The customer enters, and if this combination of your PIN and the mobile number is matching, then only the amount is allowed to be withdrawn, or else closed. Okay, now that makes it a little bit uh, strong authentication, right? Now you cannot guess the mobile number along with the code exactly all the time, not at once. It is very, very difficult. You cannot use any brute force method also, so that becomes very difficult. Okay, so this is one thing. And next thing is, now the next question could be, uh, let's say that I'm what do you say, the right customer, but I in a hurry have entered the wrong pin. Maybe it is 7391. When I went to the center, instead of 7391, I have entered 7392. And then I'm asked to enter the mobile number. I've entered the right mobile number. Then what happens? The code and the mobile number is not matching. It says failed transaction. Will you allow this customer to re-enter? Now you cannot say only one chance given, your one chance is over, so stop it. You cannot say that, right? You need to be a little considerate about the customer. So let's say you give another chance. The customer again enters it wrong. You give another chance, three chances. And what happens after three chances? Now you cannot keep on assuming customer to be dumb enough to keep on entering wrong values, right? So three attempts, three attempts, wrong PIN or wrong combination of PIN and mobile number has been entered. You do not allow this customer with that mobile number to enter the transaction. Okay, now again here there's a fraudulent activity possible, wherein deliberately knowing your phone number someone might get it blocked. But again, look at it, because see, this is like blocking the customer only for one day from transaction. Okay, the customer can come again after 24 hours and try it again. So let's say that this is phase one of your project. You go it in this way, and then you might add further security features later on. So now what you're saying is, final screen in the app, you give this information, customer goes to the ATM, welcome screen, app-based withdrawal, selects that option, it allows to enter the PIN, the customer enters the PIN, then it allows to enter the mobile number, customer enters the mobile number, and that's it. Two inputs. One is PIN, other one is mobile number. Cash is allowed to be withdrawn, that's it. Close the transaction. So this is in nutshell. Okay. Now let me ask you a question. Uh, do you really think this is a very innovative, state of the art, new feature which has never been thought about by any of the banks in the entire world, and we are the first ones to work on it? Or do you think, no, no, this, Ranjit, what? This seems to be something which might have already been done, or it is already in place in some of the uh, developed countries. What do you think? Maybe you can pause, you can think about it, and you can come back. Okay, okay. Let me tell you. So the point is that okay, I'll show you a couple of YouTube videos. I think that should make it a little bit easy. Uh, yeah, here it is. First, watch this one. This is not the same, but you to just give you an idea like how things are. Just watch this video. Okay, so here if you see what has happened is of course a different technology. Here it's not talking about any pen or anything like that. It is talking about using your palm. And if you have observed this guy, he's going to the ATM, he's just showing his palm and getting the money itself. He's not entering how much amount because that information has already been given in the app. Similar to what we are doing. Okay, so this is something which was there in place. And let me show you another video. There is no audio in this. Okay, just watch this. It's a small one. You can just, and then we'll discuss. Okay, that's it. So what you have seen here is about a sort of a journey wherein the QR code is displayed on the screen that has to be scanned on the phone. So effectively speaking, it's a cardless withdrawal. Okay, and once that is done, you get the amount, and that's it. You're done with your journey. And let me just tell you one thing over here. If you see this video, it says 8 years ago. So what I'm trying to tell you is these are not something which is like, something which has been recently thought or something which is totally new and all. These have been in place since many years. And this ATM network, NCR Corporation is the company which manufactures these ATMs, which are used by most of the banks worldwide. Even if you go to any of the ATMs in India, try observing, you'll find that NCR logo on the ATMs. Any which ways. So this sort of cash withdrawal technology at the ATMs is already in place, and it's been thought of. The only point could be that it has not really become mainstream. Mainstream in the sense you don't hear about it so often. You don't hear about a lot of people using it. You don't. It has not become that popular as it should be. Could be any reason behind it, but the point being, this is something really very user friendly approach which can be used, and some variations of it are already there in most of the banks across the world. Even if you search your mobile app of your banking, you might find one or two variations of this. Even the State Bank of India or ICICI, they have these features. You can check out their apps and ITM centers. Okay, so that's it. So this is what is there in this particular project. Now it's up to you to work on the assignments, create the artifacts, and then uh, you know go through it, revise it further if required. And if you feel that it would help to discuss it with me, then you can send it across, and we can have one-to-one connect sessions, and we can discuss on what could be added and all. And also, let me give you a disclaimer. Whatever we have discussed in terms of features, in terms of how the BA would be working on all these things and all, there is no uh, declaration given anywhere that this is the best way to do this. There are always better ways of getting things done. There are always better ways. Maybe, instead of your just wireframes and directly working into the requirements, you might create a flow chart, or you can create a process flow diagram, or you can work on some other UML diagrams like a sequence diagram. So there are a lot many things that you can really do to bring that amount of clarity for the business as well as your technical teams, and make your documentation as refined and as easy to understand as possible. There are so many things that you can do. What we are discussing right now is the uh, is one of the good ways of getting things done, wherein you're trying to make it uh, an effective way of delivering the functional requirements to the uh, your technical team with the due approval process followed from the business. Okay, so if anyone says, no, no, Ranjit, you know what, this is a better way I have in my mind, of course all sort of those things are welcome. You need to look at what can be worked out within the constraints of timelines that you need to follow, within the constraints of the sort of process which is approved, or which is a standard that is followed in your company in such projects, and follow accordingly. Okay, so that's it. We'll stop this here. We'll meet in the next session. So next one we will see if, mostly I think it would help to have a direct interaction with you, so you can get back to me after you complete watching this video and your assignments, so we can discuss on the next process of sharing my feedback on it, and also on customized, your job search process, or your interview preparation, or your resume updation, all those things. Okay, okay then, thanks everyone.